Okay, so this is going to be a demo video for installing WebJockey. Now, you normally have to have a web server that's local to you. When I say local to you, it means that it's a web server, a server that's either running Linux, Windows, or Macintosh, or whatever it is, that supports HTTP, um, and is physically connected. Is either physically connected to your local area network, as in it's on the same router that you are running WebJockey Winamp from, uh, or it's actually on the same computer that you're running WebJockey on. One of the two. And it can even be behind it. You can even have a Linux server that you have set up a NAT and it's hooked up to your internet directly first, and then your computer that you have Winamp with your music on and WebJockey installed into also then connected to another Ethernet port on the computer. And there's 3 different ways to do this. But for simplicity and for this demo video, and to get people just barely started with a basic setup, I'm going to install the free Abyss web server and the PHP support, the pre-configured PHP package for the Abyss web server. Now I've already got these 2 large downloads already on my machine, but I'm going to show you where I got them. So we go Abyss web server. Okay, it's recording. Alright, so, and I clicked on here to get to download the Windows version. Right, and then I also downloaded the PHP extension download. It's taking a while to do it. Right, so I've already downloaded these 2 things because it takes forever to download. And I've also already downloaded the beta version of WebJockey. So I'm going to install the web server first. Don't think I need that. I think I need to close this before it goes on. I'm just going to want to reopen the browser. Yep, it opened the browser to a console. So I'm going to select English. So now we have to choose a login name and password for our Abyss web server, which I will do now for the 18th billionth time. Alright, so now we are inside our Abyss web server console. So now we're going to go back to that page. We're going to figure out we're going to install our PHP support with the pre-configured PHP package. So we're going to install it. So that's what we got to do first. So right. Takes a while. So now our PHP is installed. So now we got to configure Abyss web server to use it. So let's follow these instructions. Open Abyss web server's console, which we already do have open. And in the host table, press configure in the row corresponding to the host to which you want to add PHP 5 support to, which is only one here, so let's hit configure. It says select scripting parameters. Check enable scripts execution. It's already checked. Check. Alright, and here we go. Add in the interpreters table. So where's the interpreters table? Interpreters table. Add. If you're using Windows into 2000 XP 2003 Vista 7 2007 or later, set the interface to fast CGI local pipes. So I'm on Windows XP. So that's what I'm going to set it to. Fast CGI local pipes. In the interpreter field, press browse. Go to the directory where your PHP 5 installed. Locate php-cgi.exe and click on it. Okay, so I gotta find PHP 5 and then PHP. Where'd it go? Oh, cgi.exe. Set type to standard. Already is. Check use the associated extensions to automatically update the script paths. Already is. Press add in the associated extensions table. So add. Enter PHP in extension field and press OK. PHP. OK. Press OK. Press OK in the scripting parameters dialog. Scripting parameters. OK. Next, declare new index files. Select index files. Press add in index files table. Enter index.php in the file name field and press OK. Apply modifications. Press restart to restart the server. Excuse me. Okay, so this is additional information if you need it here. Let me see if it's pertinent to this. No, I don't think it is. No. Okay. It looks like it's finished resetting. So let's test our new server. Our server works. So let's test PHP to make sure it's working. And in the this web server with the default install, your document root. That means where all your HTML and your the files that you show on your website go into. So here's our HT docs. So I'm going to delete these two files. I'm going to make a new file here. I'm testing PHP here. It should work, so you shouldn't have to do this. But I'm doing it just to make sure it's going to work for this video. and it's working. Good. Alright, so we're going to install a plugin now. You don't have to do this. I'm doing this because this right here, where I'm changing the destination folder, that's only because I'm running this demo from this installation folder of WinApp, just not my main one. I got some other stuff in here. So I'm going to install it in here. I don't want to run WinApp right now. You want to click yes to this. Just got some information in here. Basically telling you what each file does inside this special little folder that I'm going to show you here pretty soon. So I put into this folder, your plugins folder, this little folder here, and it contains the primary demo files. The radio.php page is for your listeners to look at and be able to request songs with. This and this file and this file, these two files put together are your BogProg WebJockey DJ control panel files. And this file explains, which is this one here, what all these files do. So you should read that. That way you get a better understanding of what's going on. So basically what's going on here is, on a basic level, this file, when viewed in a client browser, contacts this file, which then acts as an intermediary for connecting with the BogProg WebJockey DJ port. DJ port, just the regular port. And this file is the file that actually contains the authentication schema. The DJ login and DJ password commands do not exist inside of WebJockey, or just the DJ login, yeah. DJ logout, DJ login. They do not exist inside the plugin itself. They only exist inside this file. And the reason for that is security. WebJockey cannot secure itself, and nor do I have the current ability to compile an SSH connection on the WebJockey port. And I'm not really interested in doing it because security is not my thing. It's somebody else's. So that's what I'm doing here is because this web server and of course the other web servers like the Apache web server for Linux and Windows handle security probably much better than I ever could. I let them handle the security. So this is why the authentication schema is not in WebJockey at all. It is inside your files, your document files. And in this case, it's inside the example BogProg WebJockey DJ control panel. So, when we got this little bit of knowledge squared away, we're just going to copy this entire folder wholesale into the documents htdocs folder inside the Abyss web server install. So that's paste. So you can see we have brought everything in, and because we know the server works, we'll just go right to it. I already have this bookmarked. So as you can see, it is asking for a password. Now your password is stored in a new fourth file, bpwjdjcppw.php, and it's just a file that gets included into the AI file here with an sh1 hashed out password in it. The default password when you first install this little control panel thing is change me, all lowercase, and it will not allow you to manage your station until you actually change this password. See, I'll go ahead and refresh the page and see it will not go through until you change the password. So we enter it in for the first time. We get to enter it again to change it. And our new password. Oops, I must have did something wrong. Okay, so now you can see we've gotten in. And this is showing error because WebJockey is not even running right now. So I'm just going to show you this file. Oop, I didn't want to do that. There we go. Do this. Okay. Alright, so now our little PHP extended web server is running and is able to do its thing when WinApp with WebJockey is running. Now for the next file. This next file is located, of course, inside the root of your plugins folder. Oop, wrong plugins folder. Located here. And this file is actually a documentation file with just some examples in it. This documentation file contains all the information about the commands and how you use them and how you send them. The format is, and detailed documentation of all the commands. So this is if you're making a new interface or a custom interface for your web station, for WebJockey, you would be staring at this almost all day, like I do. Which is, I try to format this as best as possible to make it easy to read. Of course, nothing ever is really very easy if it's worth doing, but I try. It's a lot of information in here that you need to read. So if you're making a new, making your own interface panel. Anyway, so let's test this out. We'll start WinApp. And you'll see right over here that our WebJockey main interface window has appeared. It's got four nice little pretty little tabs here. So let's get right into it. Let's not dilly-dally. So let's cue our first playlist. Oh, I should tell you, you should see here that I have all the files for my radio station inside one folder on my hard drive. And you can see it's all nice, neat, and organized and everything. And it's really important that you really do that. And here's why. In here, when you first install WebJockey, there's no restrictions. Oh, I need to reconfigure for my last demo. These are actually default to these. Okay, so here we go. Alright, so as you can see, once you have WebJockey installed and you have the web server installed and everything ready to go, anybody who has your login can view basically your entire file system, including any additional installed hard drives and anything that the currently logged in user that you're running WinApp from can also access over the internet. So you want to secure your WebJockey browse. So when we do that, we come over here, we configure. You might want to disable DJ configuration changes too and specify your path. And as you can see, I just copied and pasted it in. And so now when somebody tries to browse where they're not supposed to be going, like say for example my documents, it will not let them do it. Alright, so now we've secured our WebJockey interface here. Let's queue our first playlist. Bam. Now, the first thing you should notice is your entire playlist has been loaded into the WebJockey, but it is not in here. WebJockey will only ever keep 3 songs at a time inside the Winamp playlist. There are numerous reasons for this. I'm not going to get into it, but it just makes things easier in WebJockey with one of the reasons. WebJockey is itself capable of handling extremely large playlists, so don't worry about it. You load your playlist into BogProg WebJockey, it will handle it just fine. So let's get started. Let's play our first song in our playlist and take a look at our control panel. And as we can see, we have showing our currently playing song with its associated randomly associated ID, the amount of time that it's been playing, and the amount of time remaining on that song. Now on this first little I don't know what you call it, tab or button here, we have purge played, shuffle list, skip now, information. We have a seek, and we have queue playlist. So let's first explore queue playlist. You can browse for our playlist. Click on playlist here, and let's see. Let's get annoying. Queue playlist. So you can see once we've browsed for it, we select a playlist file, and we click on queue playlist, and it brings it into this little field here that we can hit queue playlist on. And as you can see, it has updated our WebJockey's current playlist from the web page. Of course, this playlist only has 1 song in it, but because there's already been a song playing, it won't get rid of it. You know, to keep things, you know, working. So that's our first thing that we explore here is queuing playlists. So let's queue our original demo playlist back. And as you can see, Winamp BogProg WebJockey has restored our original playlist. Now, we can shuffle our playlist, which I don't want to do right now. It is a true shuffle, but it shuffles it only once. So if you want to keep a shuffled playlist, you know, after it runs out, you gotta go back and, you know, shuffle the playlist. It's not really hard to do, but, you know, you can do it. Or you can skip now. So let's see what song is playing now. Oh, it's still the first one. Huh. That's odd. Somebody... Oh, somebody did. I must accidentally hit a button. So I go ahead and purge open. There we go. No wonder why. Okay. So I'll refresh the page here. Okay. And oh, I did it again.
Goodbye.
Or too late. Oh, did I miss it? Okay, good. So we can skip a song without it even showing up as recently played, I believe. Oh, okay, so it does show up as recently played. Okay, must be a reason for that. Oh, that's right, because the DJ does it. So there's two versions of this of the skip function inside WebJockey. There's the regular listener skip, which they have to reach a certain number of skip voting. So they vote to skip. So if it reaches a certain number configurable inside of WebJockey, for example, the default is number of votes to skip 30. You might want to reduce that. That's actually probably high if you have a small hobby radio station. Um, so we can have a vote to skip where we have enough listeners that want to skip a song, they can skip it. It can be skipped. WebJockey will skip it, or you can have the DJ skip it immediately, which I would do right now. See, it has immediately skipped it without having to, wait for other people to vote for it. And we can have this information button, like it has. That's just wonderful. Anyways, so the currently playing song, you can always look it up, say, okay, here's the current title, artist, and any other information inside the tags of the file. And we can seek. So seek values that are positive will move the song to, the time in seconds from the beginning of the song. Seek values that are negative will seek to positions of the song from the end of the song. So for example, if I was to seek right now, it will seek to the last 10 seconds of that song. Hey, isn't that nifty? Alright, so we've explored every single button on this page, except for these. So any of the individual songs in here, we can bring up the info for it. And we can do a regular listener style request, and an overriding DJ request. And you can see a difference. One is just the IP address. The other is the IP address with the DJ's, characters included with it. Now, I mentioned these IDs before, but I didn't explain why they exist, I don't think. So in case I didn't, the reason why these IDs exist is because WebJockey assigns them. Like I said, it does a random assignment, randomly generates these IDs for each song. And the reason why it does that is for ease of information transfer between WebJockey port and the browser client. So instead of transmitting a very long file name to uniquely identify your song, they transmit the IDs instead. Now, for you and me, when we're looking at these example pages, they don't really mean anything to us at the immediate moment. But if you want to design your own interface, client interface for a browser, you'll have to deal with these IDs, especially for interfaces that don't have logins. Alright, so as you can see, we have some requests in here. So if I purge open requests, it will purge open requests, meaning purge requests that have not been played or are not currently playing. Purging requests, however, this button right here, will purge all of the requests in the request queue regardless of whether it has played, whether it's currently playing, or whether it has finished playing. Simple. It comes in handy if you need to override a listener who's pestering your station or whatever. You can purge open requests before the song ends, whatever. And you'll notice that on each one of these, except for log out, the currently playing song with the time elapsed and time remaining shows on each one. It's actually fairly convenient. So the DJ can manage requests. So I'll do a request here. Also shutback. And we can view the song info. if we need more information about a song before we do something with it. You know, purging all of the requests or purging some of them or whatever. Now, stop sets. Here we get into hot and heavy. But before we get into stop sets, we need to do some browsing here. And the reason we need to do some browsing is it makes it easier to mess with stop sets on our little interface here. So let's explore our stop set files here. So we need to learn some basic concepts here. There are stop set items, stop set files, which comprise a single stop set, which can be one or more stop set files, a stop set trigger, and a WebJockey stop set program. So there's 4 things going on here, but they all build up on each other. So we'll start with the basic stop set item, and we'll do that by looking at our advertisements and our sweeps. So we see a bunch of media items here. We click on information. You see these are all very short. Of course, they are sweeps. Sweeps are, it can be any media that interrupts the normal flow of your current program, like your current playlist. Not part of your main program, but part of the station branding, station identification, or what have you. You know, song intros, whatever you want. So we got 8 of these that I got for free from some website. You can see here. And then I made my little own. It's too short though. I'm not going to use it. Let me see. Yeah, it's way too short. 2 seconds. Okay, so anyways. So we have sweeps. We have advertisements. So let's take a look at them. 30 seconds. Typical ad. Another 30 seconds. Five seconds on that one. Not a typical ad, so we won't use that one. And we have some special files here. This file is a 0-length file. It's a valid 0-length file. Winamp will play it. Well, it's not really 0. It's like some odd number, microseconds of samples worth. But it's, I consider it 0 because it shows up as 0. Alright, so let's take a look at our stop sets. Of course, we can't do anything with these except stop set. And take a look at our sweeps. So let's put a stop set item into our current stop set, which is currently empty, I believe. Yep, currently empty. Add stop set item. So we have a piece of media here. It's an MP3 file, has a certain length, and we'll add the stop set item. So you can see here we have the file name instead of the ID showing, and we have the length of it, the title of it, as it would appear in Winamp. But if you'll notice, the title is obfuscated here. Little bonus feature. That helps to keep your W3C logs clean. You don't have to worry about trying to differentiate between advertisement files and advertisement media and regular programming, like your music files. Thought I heard something. Anyways, so it's about ready to play here. Oh, that's odd. Did it?
Best music.
I love the music.
Best music.
I must have. Okay. I couldn't hear it. Alright, so that was our first successful stop set. And as you can see, it does not appear in our request list, if it ever comes up, or recently played. Oh, and you can tell what a recently played I forgot to, sorry about that. I forgot to say, recently played files have these buttons that are not highlighted. And on our listeners page, listener only page, if they try to request a song that's recently played, it will not allow them to request that song. So that's, a little bit more information I forgot about. Sorry. Okay. Alright, so as you can see, it did not put the stop set in our recently played. It wasn't a recent request. It was just a stop set. So let's take a look at a stop set file. Now a stop set file can, like I said before, can contain one or more pieces of media. So let's take a look at S1 here. My computer's being slow. Probably because I got Cam Studio running at the time right now. Okay, so we have here a text file. This is what we're calling a stop set file. It could have any extension as long as it's just plain text. WebJockey can treat it as a stop set file. So we have a single stop set here, and it's got one piece of media in it, so that's our stop set with just one in it. So let's go ahead and we will cue our stop set. Stop set. And you can see it has brought it in. Instead of here, which is for only stop set items, actual media files, it has brought it in here for stop set files. So don't confuse one for the other. Because you could possibly make Winamp crash. It depends on what you got installed inside Winamp. So be very careful, don't confuse these two. So they're individual pieces of media, which is a stop set item, and then actual stop sets. So we're going to use this stop set, which contains one file. As you can see, it added it to the history. And now you can see it is in our current active stop set. I'm going to go ahead and seek to it.
The station with the best music. Best music.
I love the music.
Best music.
Alright, so our stop set has played. Again, it has of course not showing up in a recently played or a recently request because it was a stop set. So whenever you add a stop set item to the current stop set, it becomes part of your stop set. So of course until it plays out. Now when you have a stop set item currently active in WebJockey, you cannot request it like it was a regular media file, nor can you add a stop set item that's already existing in a playlist that's currently active inside of WebJockey. So you're protected there. So we've explored stop sets and we've explored stop set items. So let's move on to a stop set trigger, which is part of stop set programs. So let's just dive right in. Sweeps everyone, and I had forgotten this earlier, but you can actually just drag and drop stop set files into this little box. I think I could drag more than one, but I don't want to mess up the order. Okay, so now we have a stop sets program trigger. Title of sweeps happens every X, which is defined as every 1 songs, has a priority of 0, is not exclusive, and it will shuffle. So of course this is our title as it appears here. Our periodicity, so far we only have one really option, after every X songs. So in this instance, after every 1 song means every time a song plays, one of these will get loaded as a stop set, as your current stop set. Priority. This is sort of akin to transcoder's priority management. A stop set that triggers at the same time. The stop set program trigger with the higher priority gets put into the current stop set first, and then of course the ones with lower priorities next and next and next and next. If a stop set trigger is exclusive, that means that only it will get put into the stop set, the active stop set. So if you have a trigger that happens, another trigger that happens, and only one of them is exclusive, the one that is exclusive, regardless of its priority, even if it's lower, will be triggered into the current active stop set. If there are two exclusive triggers that happens at the same time with the same priority, the one that's showing higher in this list, which is that means that it determines when a BogProg WebJockey will determine which one goes in first by the order that's displayed here. If they're both exclusive and one of them has a higher priority, of course the one with the higher priority gets, that's easy to understand. So, and this is a true shuffle. So when, say for example, if S3 gets played in one stop set program, then what happens is that will not be played until all the other ones get played first. Then it'll be available it's a true shuffle. So now we have our sweeps, and as we can see, our first triggered sweep has just been queued up into our current active stop set list, and we can see that it is now showing here. So we did not trigger it, it was triggered by WebJockey automatically. So let's see that in action. We'll seek to near the end of the file. The stop set gets played.
Best music. Best music.
I love the music.
Best music.
And of course, when the next song starts playing, the next stop set gets put into the active stop set queue. Alright, so let's get a little deeper into this. We'll add another stop set trigger. Well, this will be for our advertisements. And it will occur every, for this demo we'll make it 3. And we will make it exclusive. So did I make this? Okay, no. So for example, if one of these happens to get triggered at the same time, which it's going to happen since sweeps is currently set to every one, the advertisement stop set program trigger will be exclusive, meaning it will be the only one, and it will not include any of the sweeps. Of course, they don't work until we put some stop set files into here. So let's put some stop set files into here. Boom. So now we have advertisements in our radio station automatically. So let's check this out. We will seek. So that's a stop set, sweep. Alright, so that's 1. So let's go ahead and skip it.
In the mix. Back to back, beat to beat. Come on, DJ. Hit me with another track.
That's 2. Skip it.
Hottest DJ mixing the beats. Beats.
And 3. So after every 3 on this one, we now see that we have our advertisement has been queued. And like I said before, only 3 will ever be inside this playlist. So even though our stop set is like, I don't know, 7, or in this case it might be 8. Let me see. Well, take a look. No, it's 7. So in this case, even though our stop set is 7 items, WebJockey will only keep 3 inside the playlist. Now you can see we have a sweep in here, a 0 length break, an advertisement, a 0 length break, another advertisement, another 0 length break, and a sweep, an outro sweep. So let's go ahead and let's hear how that sounds.
Best music. Best music.
I love the music.
Best music.
Winamp, the ultimate media player, just got better. Imagine having one place to manage both your music and video collections.
So let's advance this ad.
Visit winamp.com today to find out what you've been missing.
It's amazing how your entertainment world has become more and more based on your computer, with all the music downloads and downloaded free at winamp.com.
In the mix. Back to back, beat to beat. Come on, DJ. Hit me with another track.
So you can see that WebJockey is doing its job. Automatic insertion of stop set, including sweeps and advertisements, into your shoutcast station, radio station. Alright, so let's get into the search. This is a very limited search. It doesn't do full phrase search matching. It just does case insensitive, what do you call those? Tokens? No, just the words. The whole words. So if you do a search for amount here, it will, excuse me. That was very rude. It won't match any song that has, mount in it. It will only find songs that have the word just mount in it. So if you want to find a song, you have to have the correct spelling of the word in it. So you can see it has found Skull Crusher Mountain. So if I want to find all songs with the word Colton in it, I found all the Jonathan Colton songs in my current playlist. So, I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh, I am. DJ requests. So, as you know, from previous experience, in our little video here, when we have our media loaded into Winamp, we know that each song is given an individual ID. However, a DJ can still request a song that's not even inside the current playlist. And it will do that by referencing the actual file name instead of the ID, which does not exist. But once it's put into the current playlist, it will have an ID. So I'll do a DJ request. And as you can see, it has moved to the requests page here. It has inserted the whole file name into the DJ request little field here. And so we'll hit the DJ request button, and bam, it becomes an ID indexed piece of media. Alright, let me see. Oh wait, configuration. Alright, so configurations. You can change your password here if you like, which I do suggest you do every once in a while. If the person who is managing your station does not disable it, you can change these parameters here, but not these, not at least inside WebJockey itself. Those can only be changed from inside what you connect to from in here. So if I say a different IP address, if I try to connect to a different adapter, as you can see, it doesn't work because WebJockey will only bind to one adapter at a time unless you do this. So this will bind WebJockey will listen on all adapters, including any virtual and physical, which includes localhost and of course any a wireless connection or a wired connection, Ethernet connection. You get the idea. It'll bind to them all. So, well, at least it's supposed to. It's doing something. Configure. Did I hit OK? 0.0.0.0. Yeah, I did that right. That's all correct. Let me see my firewall. This might be a bug inside WebJockey that I have just now created. Weird WinApp. No, it's bound to all. 62187. Must be a thing inside. No, I'll refresh the page. Oops, that's not a refresh. That is really odd. 62. Oh. That's because I put the wrong IP. Dummy. Okay. Oh, see, that's what happens when you do the right thing. Okay. No wonder why. Alright, so we have the ability to go back and forth. Now, you really shouldn't bind them to all addresses, but you can if you need to, without compromising yourself. Because you really don't want to forward your WebJockey port to the rest of the world, because if you do, people will be able to hijack your web station, your radio station, your online radio station. So let's just not do that, okay? Bam. Alright, so I think I've covered everything. You can set manual arbitrary commands inside here. Oh, you know what? I forgot. Why did I forget one thing? Now that we have our stop set program configured, it will save it if you just close WinApp, and you forget to save it. It will save the last open, stop set program, but you should save it. Oh, I want save. And of course, keep things organized. And as you can see, I've already got some stuff in me from some previous demos, but I'm going to save it. Demo 3. So now I can remove. As you can see, we have restored our program. Now you can load stop set programs from an external program, like if you're running Linux and your cron jobs have the ability to make TCP/IP connections to the WebJockey port. Well, then they can a Linux server with cron jobs can automatically load stop set programs for you. At certain times of the day. Say like you want to have a daytime and a nighttime stop set program, or if you want to have a daytime and a nighttime playlist, which I actually do have for, or actually I should say did have for my old station. It's very doable, whether it be from a web server or from program called Slicko that I've developed that also has built into it automatic stuff for managing automatically on the hour or whatever. I have a small playlist, so I should probably make this smaller. Anyways, alright, so I think I've covered everything now. Let me see. excuse me, another rude oddity. Clanging stop set. I think you saw that earlier. Yeah. Alright, so I think that's it. I think I covered everything. Alright, well, have a good one. Come on.